Good evening, folks. Out here on the porch again. Tonight I've got a first responder alpha. Got this in a 5 pack of first responder brand cigars. I've smoked another one on here. I got it, I think, when I was in Blairsville. It had a green label. I think I have another one in this pack, but it comes from a first responder coffee company, and they may have cigars. They even have a whiskey that they sell. I haven't tried the whiskey yet, but saw this shirt here, Old Man Copper. If you, on YouTube, if you're not following him, you should be. Um, he had on this shirt, and I said, I got to get me that shirt. He's a retired firefighter, so I'm a police officer, retired, and now working again. But I said, that's a very cool shirt. I got to have that. So I tried to order it a while back, and they were out of them. And I ordered some coffee as well with the shirt. Coffee came, shirt did not. There was a note in there apologizing because they were out of stock, the the size I wanted. Coffee was very good. I don't remember which flavor it was, but it was good. Um, so I emailed the guy. What was impressive is, like, within an hour, he emailed me back and says, "Hey man, it's out of stock. I got some more coming in," and they did. And when they popped on there, I went ahead and ordered this one, and I ordered a whiskey one I'll wear. That's pretty cool too. Um, but got this 5 pack of different flavors I'll be smoking on this channel. This thing smells like a leather shop. You know, when you're traveling and you go in a place that makes belts and, I don't know, bags and saddles and shit like that. That's what it smells like to me. Good smoke. Very good. I'm liking it so far. So this is a first responder alpha. It's got a Habano. It's a Habano blend, Ecuadorian wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler. And this company was founded by a Delta Force or former Delta Force operator named Brent Tucker. I don't know anything about him, but so far I like his cigars and his coffee. Although I'm not sure what he has to do with the coffee. But we'll see how the cigar goes. So far, so good. Got a pretty burning pretty good, putting out smoke. What's cool is these come in a bag, and they put the Bovita pack in there, which some companies do and some don't. But I always like when they do that. And I got these, I think, Friday, and put them in my dry box, my little desktop humidor where I stage them. So I was worried about it being a little bit damp, but so far it's so good. You know, in Florida it's freaking humid as heck. Not too bad right now. It rained a little earlier, but then it's a little cool, but we'll see. And I am killed my Evan Williams 250 bottle, so I'm sad about that. But maybe I'll find. I saw somebody told me they saw some more out at the store up the road. I'm gonna go check it out. Still good. Um, so far in this first third, it's kind of got a little black pepper, a little spice. That's Habano. Usually you get that to me. Pretty good. Kind of leathery still. I like it though. Good cigar. Hopefully it'll stay that way. You know, speaking of first responders, I was listening to a podcast this past week. Do that a lot in the car. I travel a lot. And I don't know. I think it was probably Sean Ryan or somebody was interviewing somebody talking about PTSD, and things that people face. I think the guy he was talking to was from law enforcement. I think it was Sean Ryan. I don't know. But anyway, this guy had been involved in a shooting. I think he's from New Jersey. Um, had a rough time. I think suicide attempt, things like that, and came out of it. And now he's kind of advocates for primarily law enforcement, but I think all first responders, and trying to get people past it. And I don't think most, maybe the younger fellas, but people my age, he pointed out something that's very true. You know, I don't know. I was not in the military. I started in law enforcement at 19, so I didn't do. But in law enforcement, well, first of all, when I started, you didn't talk about stuff like that at all. A lot of the older guys were Vietnam veterans, and they really didn't want to hear about whatever you saw or thought or came across here on the street. But here's the thing: the guy said is that over a 20-year career, and a lot of people do more than that. The average police officer has 400 traumatic events that they're exposed to in different ways, whether it's crashes or shootings or stabbings and what have you. Because things affect people differently. I mean, some things that might bother you, some don't. But I can tell you, for some reason, there are things that I witnessed and was part of. Even some of my cases, I worked in the tech division, that stick with you, And it's funny because what made me realize it was, I didn't really think about it when I was working with JSO, but when I left, I don't know why, I got to where up until about, I'll be honest, up until about 2 months ago, I had a hard time sleeping. Still don't sleep the best, but a lot of that time I spent awake was thinking about cases and victims and things that I had seen and witnessed and dealt with, and mistakes. I going over what could I have done different. How did that person end up like that? Different shootings, people passing away while you're standing there. And I don't know why. I don't know why that stuff sticks with you. I wish I did. Experiences that you're exposed to, you think, you get to the other side and you think, I'm just happy to be alive, right? I'm happy that didn't go south for me, but you just say, I don't know why, you just seem to relive it, and I don't understand, but we do. And when I started this career, you didn't talk, you still, I don't, the problem in law enforcement, if you start telling people you're having mental problems, you'll end up on what they call it at JSO teleserve. And they take your gun and your car, and you're driving your personal car to work, and you're answering the telephone and writing reports for stolen tags and things like that over the phone. And you're sitting there with people who are actually in trouble for stuff. And you didn't do anything wrong. You're just having some issues. I don't know what the answer is, but that makes you very reluctant to talk about anything if you're in law enforcement. Not to mention, when it gets out, and even though other people are dealing with it, the response is always, that guy's a nut. Something's wrong with him. Because you're supposed to be able to take it. You're a grown ass man, and you can. It's not that you can't. It's just you need some way to filter through this crazy stuff that you see, experience, and are exposed to. But I found it strange how actually when I was still working there, I didn't have that. It's after I retired, and I don't know whether your mind has time to settle. It didn't. So in other words, I guess some people have this, from what I understand, these PTSD symptoms right away. Um, I didn't have that at all. A lot of my stuff started after I retired from the sheriff's office, and whenever your mind is quiet, whether it's at night and you wake up for whatever reason and then you can't shut it off, or you're driving in the car by yourself and you just start thinking about it. And in my case, I live and still work in the area where I worked. So you pass. In fact, I drive when I was in patrol many years ago. I drive through that area to get to where I work now. And so you pass. Well, I remember that intersection. That happened. I remember that down that road. That's where that gal was shot in the head. And like I said, when it happened, you didn't really think much of it. But now you think about it all the time. I don't know what changed. About 2 months ago, I kind of let all that go. I was having a lot of trouble with it, honestly. Had been since I left JSO, and it's been a while now. I went to talk to somebody one time, but it was clear the person didn't know what they were doing, so I never went back. You don't really want to talk to your wife about it, and you can't really talk to. I don't have a lot of people I talk to still from JSO. It's just a weird feeling. So I just worked through it myself, and I feel better now. But I don't think people understand. The military gets a lot of, they got the VA and they got, counseling, but really the police don't get nothing. Firefighters, I'm sure they're the same. You really don't get any help for anything or any recognition for that stuff. Really, when you're done, they kick your ass out the door, and that's it. And there's no health care. A lot of people think, well, you get health care when you retire. Not here. I know of some guys from New York City or something that came down here that they have full retirement health benefits and things like that. I'm not sure if but it's up north. But down here, when you're done, you're done. And there is no, when you're working, they offer you EAP, the Employee Assistance Program, I think they call it. But, you can't go to that because people find out you're going to that and you get labeled and stigmatized. And honestly, I think when I was working, I didn't really have a problem with it as much. I mean, as when I left, and I don't know whether you're slow down and you have time to think about this stuff. I don't know what it was, but anyway, it was pretty interesting. Again, a lot of his focus was, the military gets a lot of support with this stuff, to include disability. I know people get disability for having PTSD, and rightfully so. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But as first responders, and the thing about first responders too is that it's not. You may not have been in a war zone and things like that, but it accumulates over 20, 30, almost 40 years for me now. But these things just build and build and build, and one on top of another, and it's just kind of crazy. And like I said, for me, it's just been after I left. But about a month or two ago, I don't know what it is, I decided I need to let all that shit go. I still think about it, some specific incidents. I still think about it. Um, and I don't know why when you came out in the good, when it was over with, some of these things, um, why you still think about it. It ought to be, thank God that, that's great. It's awesome. But sometimes you feel like that could have been bad if not for one or two little things that happen to go your way. But that's life. You know, you can train and you can be prepared, and it's going to increase your chances of survival and coming out on top on different things and paying attention and knowing what to look for. But a lot of it's luck, you know, a lot of it's luck. I mean, you make your own luck. I believe I'm a firm believer in that. But it just as easily could have went south for you. You think about these poor folks, the shit they've faced, the horrific things, their family, death, and even if they weren't the greatest people, to stand there and watch people die or holding their hand while they pass is not, it's still a person. It's still a person. And anyway, damn, that got deep and heavy. I didn't mean for it to go like that. I just was trying to point out that, I don't know what the answer is. I wish I had more influence. I'd like to get more awareness for police officers, because there really is nothing for you. There really is nothing. Nobody, and I get it. And nobody cares because everybody hates the police. I know that. We're our own worst enemy sometimes, but that doesn't change the fact that those of us who are out there trying to do the right thing and make a difference with things, you carry this stuff around and it'll be with you till you die. And I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got for today. This thing here, this is a good cigar. A lot of smoke. See, you probably see that on the camera. And I really hadn't had to touch it up. A little wavy burn, but it's holding its own. No issues. A lot of to me, a lot of I don't know if cedar is the right word. A lot of people say that, but it's more like a woody taste, like a oak, and a little bit of spice. It's pretty good on a night like tonight. I always say I like Maduros, which I do, but it seems like these Habanos, not all of them, but a lot of them I've tried have been pretty good. So maybe I need to add that to the list. Yeah. But anyway, guys, if you go online and you Google these folks, they got some pretty cool products on there. If you're into any kind of first responder or military type stuff, they have military themed stuff on there too. Cigars, so far, this is the second one I've tried with them. Both have been pretty good. They do have a whiskey, and of course the coffee was good. I wish I remembered the one I bought, but whatever it was pretty good. So that's all I got for tonight. I hope y'all have a good week. It's Sunday night. This will pop up tomorrow on Monday. And guys, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. And I hope y'all had a great weekend and have a great week.